Hi friends, this is Steel Fairy, and I just watched another episode of Steven Universe, and I think this one is my favorite one that I've seen so far, so yay! Um, basically, first of all, let me tell you the title. It's called So Many Birthdays, and uh, Steven finds a picture of the three gems that he lives with, and his mom, who I don't know if they have said her name. I guess Steven knows her name because he says like his two last names later in the episode, being Quartz Universe. Um, so anyway, but he finds this old image of them and he's like, "Why do you all look so old-timey?" Because it was old times, and apparently the gems don't age, cuz like their age is an illusion or something. So they could pretty much become any age that they want because as we know from a previous episode, the gems can shapeshift. So I guess they just imagine what they want to look like and just have that all the time, which is kind of interesting to think about. Like, why did they choose their specific looks as opposed to, like, another look? I don't know. It's really weird to think about. But anyway, let's see. So, basically, he gets all upset because he found out that they don't really celebrate birthdays. So he decides to throw them all birthday parties. Um, by the way, in the photo, Garnet said that the hardest part was getting the shark to pose, and it looks like she's punching it in the picture. So does that mean she like forced the shark to pose by punching it? If so, that's awesome, and I love her. But you already know that I love Garnet. If you've been watching all of these so far, you already know. Anyway, so he's throwing them all these parties and trying like different things for each of the gems. Like with Amethyst, he was doing like general party games and stuff. And then for Pearl, he tried a clown routine, which doesn't really make much sense. For Pearl, I would think something more traditional would be better, like just cake and presents or something, or maybe like a tea party. I don't know. With Pearl, I didn't really think clown. That seems to fit Amethyst more. But anyway. And then for Garnet, he tried to do these like little cars and kazoo thing. I forget what he calls it, but it sounds really fun. Um, but basically, they're saying that they think they're too mature for birthday parties and stuff, and I guess if you've lived hundreds of years, yeah, maybe, but also, like, you should be able to have fun every now and then. Especially Amethyst, because, like, it's pretty much her personality to, like, cut loose and everything. Because the reason he found this photo was at the beginning of the episode, they, like, went down into Amethyst's room, and it was a complete mess. I think Amethyst's personality probably fits like a preteen or teenager, and Pearl's is like, you know, a mom. But it's whatever. Clown. Eh. um, I did really like the way the characters kind of like uh, fed off each other in this episode. I think the characterization in this episode was really good, um, especially in the dialogue. Um, because when Steven's doing the clown thing, like Pearl's speaking very um, kind of, how do I describe it? not like reserved, but very proper, I guess. And but we did find out that Pearl likes pie, so that's one thing. But yeah, she's basically saying like, "Oh yeah, I hope nothing happens to the pie too," and like, you know, all that stuff. I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but I love the characterization in this episode. I think they fed off each other very nicely. Um, so yeah. Oh, also, when Steven takes off the afro after he's done his clown thing, I like how his own natural afro just like floofs back up. I thought that was a really nice touch. The humor in this episode is really on point, which is one of the reasons why it's my new favorite. Love the characterization, love the humor, and this episode is like really real in some places. Because basically, after they say that they think they're too mature for these birthday um, festivities, um, Steven starts feeling like um, maybe he's too old for birthdays too, and his gem starts reacting and making him appear older or whatever. And that's the main conflict of the episode is he's aging very rapidly because of his gem reacting. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But there's a shot like right before he goes on his long soul searching walk where he starts to age, where they show a shot of the side of a cliff, I guess, that Steven lives on, and there's an arm made of stone coming out of it. Was that ever explained in a previous episode? Because I don't remember it. And if it's explained in a future episode, don't tell me about it then, because I want that to, you know, be a surprise to me, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, he starts doing things that make him feel more adult, and so he starts getting older and older and older, and eventually he goes into the donut place, and he's like middle-aged or something at that point, I guess, and he starts roasting Lars, and I think that's really funny because he thought he was his same age, right? And Lars was like being a jerk to him, and so he starts basically saying, "Oh my God, you have to start acting like an adult and blah 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 blah, because I won't be there for you, and I'll be an adult too, and blah blah blah." I don't know. It was awesome, because Lars totally deserves it. But yeah, they don't recognize him for obvious reasons, because he was a middle-aged man at that point. And I guess they don't know that Steven has powers. So do they know? Because they could have just assumed that it was him, maybe. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so one of the funniest parts of the episode happened in the donut place. Steven basically realizes that he's old because he sees his reflection in the donut display case, and he starts freaking out, and then he's like saying how the costume that he gave to Garnet, well, he gave to all of the gems at their different parties, but Garnet was just the last one to have it. Basically, it's like a crown and cape. But yeah, he thinks that that birthday costume will help him, become young again. So he asks Lars and the girl's name. I can never remember her name just because they hardly ever say it in the series. I'm sorry. I just don't remember. She's adorable, though. He asks them, "Will you help me get into my birthday suit?" And since they didn't recognize him and they just thought he was like a crazy old man or something, there's like a slight pause where they're just staring at him, and then it cuts to a shot outside, and she's like chasing him out with a stool or a chair or something, and she's like, "Yeah, you better run, you crazy old man," or something like that. I don't know. That just made me crack up. But anyway, the ending I thought was really sweet because basically he's getting older and older, and the gems realize that since he's half human, he can die from old age, unlike them. And they are desperately trying to help him go back to his actual age. And I love the animation at that ending point because the facial expressions I think were very expressive, and you really like felt the tension because Steven just keeps getting older and older and more decrepit looking, and the gems are becoming more and more stressed out and, you know, um, just kind of like desperate to help him and freaking out because they don't know what to do. And I love Garnet's reaction. Like Amethyst tries to do like, she transforms into some of the birthday stuff that Steven showed them earlier, and that just makes him age more because it reminds him of what Pearl had said, and so that doesn't work. And Pearl's dressed as the clown, and she's sobbing. That's her thing. Like, Amethyst is freaking out, and Pearl is just uncontrollably sobbing, and so she's a sad clown, and that is so funny. I don't know why, it's just funny. Um, because she's just like, poof, with the pie and like, oh, I don't know. Oh my god, I thought it was funny. Um, that's so sad. I'm strange. Um, but so after those tactics didn't work, Garnet just goes up to old man Steven and starts like violently shaking him. And they're both like, Garnet, stop! And she's like, I'm sorry, I thought violence would be the answer or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know. It was so funny to me. Like, I can't explain it. It's just so her character to do that. I don't know. But basically, what gets him to become young again is like they talk him down and say that he was like really nice and considerate to throw them birthday parties and stuff, and they figure out that it's his state of mind that's making him old and the gem is reacting to it and stuff. So but yeah, I really liked the animation and the dialogue and stuff in this episode. So um it's probably my new favorite. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I really like the episode with Yvonne, I think her name is, being introduced. By the way, when do we see her again? Because I don't think we've seen her since that episode. But anyway, I really like that one too. So I don't know. It's kind of a hard choice between this episode and that episode. Um, but anyway, yeah, I liked this one, and I hope that there's more like this where you really see the characterization of the gems come through. And Steven, too, really. You really got to see his personality shine in this episode as well, because as they said at the end of the episode, he was really nice and considerate and uh, adamant about wanting to let them have fun and throw them birthday parties, and there really wasn't anything for him to gain from that except making them happy. So I think that's really cool, and of course he did get depressed when they didn't find it fun, but I think anyone would get depressed if like you tried really, really hard to, make somebody happy and they were just not feeling it, I guess. Um, I don't know, hard to explain, but I liked it, and I hope to see more episodes like this that have the awesome characterization and the characters feeding off of each other and stuff. So, yeah, until next time, bye!